Hi everyone, John Giannone, Henrik Lundqvist, Steve Valiquette. After a 3-2 overtime loss for the Rangers against the Dallas Stars in the home opener, I have dealt with these kind of losses with you for 15 years, Henrik. It's a half-empty, half-full kind of glass evening, but when you come back from 2 down, that's the good, but then don't get the extra point, that's the not so good. How do you emerge from a night like tonight if you're on that team?
Well, I think you have to remember, a hockey game will never look the same for 60 minutes. You had the first 25 minutes belonging to Dallas, and then you have that momentum swing where Rangers suddenly start to putting pucks to the net, starting creating a lot of energy and getting confidence from putting pucks to the net. And you saw a big change. And the big thing there, too, is the Rangers cashed in on that momentum swing, scored 2 goals, got back in the game. And in the third, I thought the Rangers were really the better team. But Dallas, again, showing a smartness, poised. They're a veteran team. They just did enough to stay in the game. And then in the end, 3-on-3, it's one bad read and the puck is going the other direction.
Yeah, Henrik called them a mature team during the pregame show, and that's kind of what we saw as the game progressed. A team that understood that they were getting outplayed for a whole lot of the game, Steve, but in the end, they scored the overtime goal.
Some of the older guys in the team are gamers, too. You know, you watch Radulov. Look at Hudobin coming into that game like that. Just a gamer. He went in there, he made 3 big saves, and his team's in an overtime. And that could have easily been over. You know, maybe if it's Jake Ottinger, the other goalie in the lineup for them, maybe that's not the outcome. And Hudobin's the difference. I like the way the Rangers recovered after the first period. The first period was terrible, right? And if they kept that going, it would have been a 6-0 game. The Rangers gave up a goal with 34 seconds left in the first period. They gave up a broken play goal. So those are 2 tough goals to eat and then come back from. So I give them a lot of credit. It's unfortunate it doesn't go your way, but I think there's still a lot of positives to pull here.
Yeah. One of the positives is the Rangers get their first point in the standings of the season by taking the game to overtime. Another positive is that down 2-0 about midway through the game, when the Rangers really started to take over, not coincidentally, Adam Fox was a huge element of that comeback.
Yeah, he's playing a great game right now, and tonight was no difference. He's creating a lot of chances for himself, but also for his teammates. By being so smart with the puck and out the puck. So it's just fun to watch. And it's just a matter of time before he's going to make sure everybody around him cashing in as well. It's awesome.
You got to figure at some point, Henrik, there's going to be a book. There should be a book already from opponents on how to at least keep this guy under wraps. It doesn't look like in the first 2 games of the season that the Capitals or the Stars got that book yet.
No, he's that good, I think. And the number speaks for itself. And when you have that skill, smartness, it's going to work out. And like we talked about it before the game, I remember the first month, he's going to get hit, he's going to get knocked down, he's holding on to pucks a little too long. I thought 2-3 months later, it's like you realize how good this player is, and you're seeing it right now.
See if you could pull video highlights from tonight's game, and I could tell you it was a game from last year or even the year before, and you probably can't tell the difference.
Well, I was telling Henrik off camera, my perspective when Fox joined the team was, and you were in the lineup, I'm like, Hank's not going to like this guy because he's from Harvard, he played in the ECAC, he's offensive.
Hank doesn't like smart guys?
No, I mean, we look at these things and we're like, I don't think this guy's going to defend. And I thought your perspective was going to be, another guy that's not going to defend or something. That's not the case, right? Like, he became a player instantaneously. And, you know, it was neat to hear your perspective on it. It was right away you thought he was going to be impactful. And you look at his game tonight. He's got 3 scoring chances that he gives the puck to his teammates in the slot. And that's what he does if you defend him tight. So when you talk about Dallas and how they're actually aware of him out there, they are pushing him at the blue line there, John. But then he opens up the slot area. He did it twice for Strome, once for Reeves, and then he starts coming down the wall and he'll hit the trailer. And that's not even a talk about how he defends. And again, when we talk about Lafreniere, we talk about Kakko, those guys are going to get more impactful minutes if they defend and play away from the puck the way Fox has, which gives him the opportunity to get these extra offensive minutes. He's playing in all of the critical moments of the game. He's going to be over 24 minutes again tonight in ice time, and you can see it mounting as the game starts to build. You watch his impact here from the point. Sifts it in. Never a slap shot, never a big shot. Just get it through, get it to the net, and it's a pretty simple game. But look, Dallas tried to press him at the blue line, and he just gets it through with a sifter, or he skates down the wall.
25 minutes, no surprise, after almost 24 in his first game in Washington. So tons of Adam Fox on the ice. And what we saw last night in Washington for the only Ranger goal, we saw again tonight in what Chris Kreider is able to do in tying the game with a deflection from in front.
Chris is so strong with the puck, and you could see it tonight. He was taking it to the net, creating chances for himself, but also for his teammates. And when he used his strength like that, he's so effective. And I love what I'm seeing from Chris so far this season.
I know a lot of times over the last 8 years that you guys were together, he would stay after practice when you did as well and just practice that deflection. Just speak to how much better he's gotten at that goal over the time that you've been with him.
Well, I think he's been excellent from the beginning, but there's no shortcuts really. When you want to become great at something, you have to spend the time and practice every day, and he does. He spends every practice to knock down pucks, and a lot of it is hand-eye coordination and understand how fast the puck is coming in, and you don't have to touch it a lot, but just a little deflection will make a huge difference for a goalie, how to read that puck, how it's coming at you. And you can also see Chris now, he's moving around. It's not always right in front. He comes up a little higher sometimes, a little closer to the net, just to change up the read of him as well.
Yeah, really, the tip-in is the byproduct, but you love to look at the anatomy of a goal, Steve, and I think what Kreider and the Rangers did setting up that tying goal in the second period was pretty special.
He's had 28 goals twice in his career. I think this is the year that he gets into 30, right? I mean, I had that on paper before the season began because sometimes you have to look at it that way. You lose 20 goals from Buchnevich. Where are those coming from? Everybody's got to chip in a little bit more. Last year, Chris Kreider was third in the NHL net front. He was in front of the goaltender 34 times, screening the goaltender, and that's actually behind Hank, two Swedes, Hornquist with 52 and Landeskog with 49. But the thing about it is, and this is what you were saying, it's timing. It's when he gets there. Sometimes he's going to get tight, and sometimes he's going to get away from the net. But if he wants to get his stick on it and still be a factor and deflect the puck, it's usually when his skates are at the top of the crease and he arrives there just in time not to get boxed out. Because we've talked about the rule changes this year too with cross-checking. Now, defensemen can't really do it the way that they used to do it. So now they're trying to get there first and have that presence. Kreider still gets there before them, because he has that speed, that size, that know-how. I give him a lot of credit. It's not an easy place to be. And now, with defensemen not able to cross-check like they once were, one of the dangerous plays in hockey that used to bother me would be the puck being delivered from the point, and right at that moment, the defenseman net front cross-checks the player that's screening. Well, they're not doing that this year. They're going to call it. Right. So that helps Kreider as well.
We saw a lot of opportunity for both teams when it was 2-2, and especially down the stretch after Braden Holtby went out and Anton Hudobin came into goal for Dallas. And Steve, both teams could have claimed a regulation time victory, and the guy we just talked about in Chris Kreider had a golden opportunity that was robbed.
Well, he's all over the ice all during the game. And you remember early on in the game, too, just blazing down the left wing, just missing a pass. There's plays open. And when you see Pavelski, start the overtime and he's getting his opportunities, he's walking through people, and I thought he didn't have the muscle or the speed to do it. But this one goes post crossbar to start the overtime, and then Kreider gets his opportunity right here. He gets robbed by Hudobin. I mean, exactly.
That's incredible.
And you're saying to yourself, is that even a save right now that a goalie can make after sitting on the bench for 35 minutes
and then that one.
And then coming out, right? So, and then you see the OT winner here, and you're kind of, grasping at straws if you're the coaching staff, because you don't like to see your team go one way and then it come back and hurt you the other way, but that's the anatomy of what overtime is. It's going to be that game. That's exactly what it is. You try not to do it. You try to keep possession, but ultimately that's always going to be the unraveling of a hockey game.